All right, guys, let's talk about my newest project. You can see here I got about 4 tanks that are half empty. Wait, no, they're half full because we stay positive around here. What I'm doing is these things have been driving me nuts, and I'm going to show you guys what's been driving me nuts about them. Let's go. Now, like I said, these tanks have been driving me nuts. The orientation of them just seems absolutely wrong. What I mean by that is these fives I had put horizontally kind of this way because for some reason I thought it was going to be easier to work with my egg scattering fish tanks like that. I figured I'd be able to see the bottoms of them easier and maybe I'd be able to see the eggs easier. In practice, it really just didn't work out like that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be facing these tanks in the correct orientation. I'm going to be moving this mini tank over here that I've had just some random fish kind of chilling in. And we're going to get this basically in the correct orientation the way it should have been from the get-go. I also have a plant grow out project that I'm going to start today, and we'll be talking a little bit about that. Let's check it out. So, the first step of our project was to drain down the tanks, which I already did before I invited you guys in. All right. But, next step is to move this little tank right here, which is just a filterless tank. It's got some CPDs and some guppies, and we're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to scoot this whole rack down. We're going to tighten up the gaps on all of our tanks so there's less chance of food falling in between the tanks. I had left a gap there in the beginning because I was like, I want to be able to clean in between. And in reality, I think I actually just created a room for mess. So we're going to tighten up the gap between those tanks because it kind of drives me nuts. And it'll also get me some space over here, and we'll see what we can do with that extra space. All right, so I would consider us at our first checkpoint in the project today. I got the tanks moved on the top level to about where I want them. And basically what we're doing now is since I moved the tanks, the air spots don't really make sense anymore. So I am readjusting all of the airlines to center on the tanks so everyone has their own airlines that are intuitive and make sense and are closest. And then yeah, so we're gonna get all that set up. I'm also moving my brine shrimp hatchery up top because the live from the other day, we were talking about efficiency. And efficiency in your fish room is the best way to get to all your goals. If you're trying to breed fish, you're trying to grow plants or anything, you need to be efficient in what you're doing because if you're not, it's going to get frustrating. It's going to be a lot harder than it needs to be. And you're in control of all that. So take the steps to make your life easy. All right. So now that we're filling up the tanks, this is pretty much set how I want it. We're going to leave that be, fill it up. That's done. We're going to go to the bottom level, the second level, down here. All right. Guess what I'm going to be doing, guys? I'm going to be making a plant grow out. I'm going to be filling this bin with water here. I'm going to be leaving it a bare bottom substrate, and I'm going to be starting to make plant plugs, which will basically be rooted bundles of the different plants that I sell, but I'll be able to pre-bundle them into a bucket. I'll be able to grow them out of there. They'll be better acclimated because they'll be rooted sections of plants instead of just rooted stem cuts. I'll still sell rooted stem cuts, but it'll probably be a lesser price compared to the potted rooted sections, which are also easier for me to sell because they're already pre-portioned and ready to go. It's also going to allow me to have better inventory control over the amounts that I have, so I'm always aware of what I can sell on the day versus the way I've been running it for so long. Oh, we're getting close. Is basically just cutting stuff out when people want it, and that's not really good for business. So got to have an inventory control. So let's take this water out and put it to the next one. Now, I figured I'd throw a little bit of a demonstration of how I do my water changes in. All right, so I fill my tanks in a really traditional way. It's just got a inline carbon block filter, so it blocks out any chloramines that pop into the water there. And then goes through this, and I just have a hook so I can hook it on the end of the tanks, right? So basically, I have an on-off switch right here. Now, if you're gonna build one of these, what you need to do is you need to put this on-off switch on this side, not on this side. I didn't know that when I put this together, and now every time I turn it off and I pull it out, I got water dripping out of the fill tube, and that's really annoying. So if I'd had the on-off switch on this side of the tank, it would have worked out a lot better. And I learned that lesson with my water drain right here, and that makes it a lot nicer. Okay, so basically how my water change system works is I have an inline pump right there. It's connected to a Govee Wi-Fi timer, and basically I can control my water pump with my voice. So I just say, "Hey Siri, pump on." Water change turns on. I can't do that because I'm recording this video with my phone, and Siri does not activate when the camera's on. So yeah, seriously, it's a problem. But anyways, so this is my inline pump. It basically just takes the water straight through. So it pulls it straight out through there, through a pump, a tube, boop, 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 out and into my sink, and then out into the sewer. All right. Super easy. And then what I do, so I'm about to do a change over from a different tank, right? So I take my uh, hook here, turn it off. Ideally, you would do that while it's still under the water. You would turn this off so you don't lose any of the suction. And then you turn it back on in the other tank right here. This is my Cardinal Sulawesi tank. So I'm going to do a very small water change on this tank. I only do about, maybe 10% water change, like once or twice a month, basically. But I leave that one pretty steady. They don't like a lot of water changes from what I've heard. And I tend to believe that because I'm building a pretty decent colony and I'd like to keep that going. So I'm just going to keep steady chugging with that. So I'm going to get this drained out and I'll shoot a little video of that, but it is loud. So bear with me, guys. How I'm going to do it this time is there's this little power button on the side of the Govee Wi-Fi timers. And once you click it, it'll turn on. You can see that. It's a little loud, a little annoying. Pulling water straight out. Pumps out at a pretty decent rate, right? And then that's about all we want to do. We turn it off. But like I said, normally I have the wireless internet switch built into my phone. I just have an app for Govee and I can turn it on and off via my phone. So when I'm doing water changes in any part of my fish room, I can turn off that pump with my phone, and that's really nice. Or with my voice, if my phone is on the other side of the room, I can yell, "Hey Siri, pump off," or "pump on," and it'll do that for me. It's really, really handy. It also is a really conducive way to change water and not spill water. Like, I hate spilling water. It drives me insane. And with this is the only system I've been able to figure out so far that I like will not make a mess with. Unless I overfill a tank. Totally possible. It happens. But all right, so that's the water change system. I'm gonna keep it chugging, guys. Now, here's a thought for you guys messing with species that are known to be sensitive, known to be, a little bit finicky or whatever. And and I'm not talking about ones that need like super clean water. That's different. It's different than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is fish that need consistency. All right. Um, Maybe when you think about these fish, like mine are technically shrimp. They're invertebrates, right? So I was just talking about my Cardinal Sulawesi's. This tank right here, I was thinking about moving it up top, and I didn't. Why? I think that it's best for it to stay down lower because it keeps me from constantly messing with the tank. If I have it up there and it's in my line of sight, I'm gonna see something and it's gonna mess with my head, and then I'm gonna try to fix it, and then I'm gonna cause a problem. Now, there's two ways of looking at that. What if an actual problem arises? Well, maybe I won't see it if it's on the bottom. But I don't think that's going to be the case because I tend to be pretty attentive with my tanks. So I do check them out. But if it's in my line of sight all the time, I think I'm going to be much more drawn to like messing with it versus, leaving it there, letting it remain consistent and letting it play the game that it's been playing from the get-go that seems to be working. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, guys. We are all done. Got everything moved, rearranged, organized. I got my brine shrimp set up right there, so it's nice and easy face height, so I don't have to bend over, do anything ridiculous to make some good healthy food for my fish. I got this empty tub right here This tub I'm gonna clean out. I'm gonna have a probably a power head circulating the water in this, and then I will get a hold of the plant pots, the plugs, and everything for setting up those. And then yeah, that's it for today. So catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. See ya.